Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation and our Paws On Manga segment.
And today we're covering the Tokyo Ravengers manga, finally. It only took 3 years.
Yes, and that's okay. Now this is a manga series that I've wanted to cover for years. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And now that the anime is on break, and we've completed reading the entire manga, we're so excited to finally share our thoughts on this series with you as a whole. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notifications for future podcasts and all the pause videos.
And thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, helping us on our goal to reach over 2,000 subscribers by year's end. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
And this is the perfect month to be reading this, finishing this, and to do this podcast because Rascal knows how much I love Tokyo Ravengers.
Yes.
As I said before in podcasts covering the anime seasons, this is not a manga or anime I would have ever thought I would fall in love with like this. I am obsessed with it like JJK. And reading this manga and finishing it for me just even more supported why I love it so much.
Yes.
Now we want to state quickly before we get into it, Tokyo Ravengers is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Ken Wakui. It was serialized in Kodansha Shonen magazine from March 2017 to November 2022. Then collected into a manga that came out between March 1st of 2017 and November 16th of 2022. 31 volumes total.
Wow.
It's action, sci-fi thriller, and Yankee. And what we were able to do is to get the omnibuses and read it, which was much easier and more affordable if you're buying it. So far, I've only bought the first volume, and now I'll probably buy the last one, and then I'll go on and, as time goes, collect all the ones in between because I love it that much.
Right. And what's interesting is that the books are very thick. If you get these from the library, you purchase them. They're already pretty thick manga books, but you get the omnibuses, they're like a bricks. They are stacked with page after page after page of stuff. The only thing I notice is different is that there are no extra features in between unless only to the individual volumes. But the omnibuses don't seem to have, like, they'll have some jokes at the end or stuff from the author, bonus material, fun facts. The most you get is the disclaimer in the beginning for a symbol is used on the outfits, and then
for the manji that's used.
Right, and then at the end, when they either preview the next volume or they tell you some translation or facts in case you don't know.
Now, one of the things that stands out about this manga is the artwork is beautiful. This guy has a gift. His style stands out. It doesn't look like anything else out there. And you have the insert pages that are colored of additional characters that appear within that volume. The covers are gorgeous. And the artwork, as I said, stands out. And collecting the volumes is collecting art. Absolutely. So, one thing we do want to mention before we get into it fully is that while we were reading the manga, we saw a lot of talk online how some people were not happy with the way the manga ends. They were disappointed. They said it was garbage and they hated it. And we couldn't understand why. And we said, well, we can't wait to read it ourselves so we can see, is this hate warranted for us and why they feel that way. So we're going to tell you up front, the reason a lot of people hate is because there is a happy ending for everyone.
Believe it or not, yes.
So if you're not familiar with the story, it follows Takemichi Hanagaki. He's 26-year-old part-timer with a life that he hates. It didn't turn out the way he wanted. He hears on the news that his former girlfriend, Hinata Takebana, has been killed in a car crash. And in his younger years, he was a member of his own gang with his friends.
That didn't go anywhere.
Right. And he finds out that the Tokyo Manji gang was responsible for her death. So he ends up going to the train station. Someone pushes him off. And suddenly he's back in the past. Exactly, is it 12 years in the past?
I think so, because in here it's in the 2000s, I think. late 2000s.
Yeah, exactly 12 years back to the day.
Right.
And the goal is for him, after he talks to her brother, Naoto, to save his sister. And there's a lot more that goes into it. We won't talk in detail. It seems convoluted, but it's really simple the way it's written, because as we've discovered in Japan, time travel is usually done by events that happen.
Right.
And in
an
this
accident.
Right. And in this manga series, he and Naoto have to shake hands in the past or in the future until like the last 4 volumes in order for him to time travel.
Right.
And each time he's gone back, there have been different events, and they've been a multitude of different outcomes for the time, how time passes.
Yeah.
And you get to see how a lot of different characters look, especially Mikey. They really focus on how he's these different versions of himself, and these versions have been created because of the darkness that's in him, because of what's happened to his brother Shinichiro.
Yeah. And that darkness theme does come in a lot of the times when you get like probably halfway through the series, whether you're watching it or you're reading it. And it goes through several different arcs, and you've seen a lot of them have been adapted into an anime already. And what's odd for the anime is that they're taking a break to do, kid you not, fairy tale Revengers, where they're going to take the Tokyo Ravengers characters and put them in Japanese fairy tales.
I hope that gets squashed.
And it's like, I don't know. And we thought, oh, maybe there's a spin-off manga of that and they're adapting that. No, this is either Disney or somebody else doing it. I don't know. But when you read it, it stays focused on the story the entire time. There's no break for something stupid like that. It really is about saving Hinata.
It's actually a parody spinoff, and it actually already was released in November 2021 to March of 2023.
What?
Its chapters were collected in 6 volumes, released in America February of 2022 to May 2023.
Yeah, I don't think it did well because no one brought it up. I didn't even know it was out.
Right.
So nix all that I said in the beginning.
No, don't nix it. That just helps to qualify what you were saying.
Yeah, so
and you're right. It doesn't make sense. It didn't get squashed. Will we take a look at it? Probably one volume
maybe,
just to see.
Yeah.
If maybe we're wrong and it ends up like Attack on Titan. High school,
junior high,
yeah, which is hilarious. Maybe it ends up being like that. If you guys know, let us know in the comments.
Right. So it stays focused on saving Hinata and then later saving Mikey and the rest of the Tokyo Manji gang, because you get to learn about these characters as it goes on. And you see how their personalities are, and the whole gang isn't just seediness or they're delinquents, but they got to go to school. And they're not really terrible people. They're just guys that really, really like to fight. Like, constantly fight. And then they'll take a break for a little bit.
And then also, when they formed the gang, individually they were having issues. And so they decided to join together so they could be stronger as a unit. And the same happened with Takamichi and his friends. And it seems like that's a thing that goes on in here. Okay, their strength in numbers. We'll join together to keep our butts from being beaten by these large gangs who pick on smaller ones and younger ones.
Right.
Which seems to be, again, something that happens a lot in anime.
Yes.
So, Takamichi grows extensively during this manga, and some of the characters grow depending on what time period they're in when they go back. I love Takamichi as a character. He starts off as the crybaby hero, but he grows and grows and grows. And what I loved most was when he said, I'm going to save everyone. He didn't go, I'm just going to save my friends. I'm just going to save this one. I'm just going to save Hinata. That, as you said, that was the goal in the beginning. But he started caring about everyone. Even Kisaki and the ones who turn into villains. He said their lives might have turned out differently if they've been treated differently. And that reminded me of Meet the Robinsons.
Yes.
And yes. And I love how his goal is to save everyone. He doesn't want anyone to die.
Yes.
And that makes him one heck of a hero.
Yes. And that bit comes in several times, but you can get to like the final volume, which is like, well, the final omnibus is like 3 volumes long.
I'm gonna read that to you shortly.
And you're gonna actually see part of the main reason why he is a hero. You can tell someone's watched My Hero Academia.
Yes. So the back cover says, "The time has come for Takamichi's final battle, a showdown between the reformed Tokyo Manji gang and Mikey's own ruthless Kanto Manji. As the conflict slowly begins to turn in Mikey's favor, Takamichi is horrified by a sudden vision of the future. Even while his friends fail around him, he's haunted by images of an even worse outcome, certain to unfold unless he grabs hold of fate with his own hands. Just what is behind the dark impulse that's taken hold on Mikey? And is there any hope for Takamichi's feelings to break through?" That pretty much sums it up. And yeah, you get this event that's pretty horrible that's gonna happen, where one of Tokyo Manji's own members are gonna end up killing everyone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? How did it get this bad where it got this twisted? And it just seemed to get worse and worse and worse. So he ended up having these multiple goals that he had to get accomplished each time he went back. And somewhere along the line of this manga, he ends up not being able to shake Naoto's hand because something happens to Naoto.
Yeah.
And then something else has to be the trigger, which you'll find out when you read it. And then you find out different people had a knowledge of time travel being possible. In one time travel period, Takamichi tells Hinata, and then Hinata tells him to tell Mikey and my boy Draken, and they actually believe him. And then they help him to get back, saying, "Save us." And that seemed to be what the members of the Manja game were telling him and his friends. First, what's the pink-haired friend's name?
There's in Mikey's group?
No, in Takamichi's, the one that became the hairdresser later. Aken.
Okay,
that's
thanks.
his name. And you meet him when he unfortunately takes himself out on a building.
Yeah.
And he says, "Save us, our crybaby hero."
Yeah.
And then later on, you have Taiju. I'm not going to call him Kaiju because some people don't get me connected.
Let's call him a real name.
Taiju wants them to help them. And then you get Draken and Mikey telling him to save everyone, save us. And they just keep looking to him to be the hero. Even Kisaki at one point calls him hero.
Yes.
And crying when he actually shoots him. And you're like, it just got more and more in-depth. Yeah, crazy and in-depth in how all of their fates had lined up and how they had met each other and the different things that were going on in the background you had no idea about, and how those events had shaped their opinions of each other. I'm telling you, Wakui is one hell of a writer. He's like Horikoshi. The only thing is he's not as well known, and the manga based on his work didn't get as much attention. It's not My Hero Academia.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
What I'm saying is, for the genres it covers, sci-fi, Yankee, and adventure, he's in his own class by himself.
Right. And like I said, you can tell by the end of the manga, when everything starts coming together and they're showing you how the time travel started, how everyone is being connected, how Mikey got the power, how Takamichi got the power, you end up finding all this out. And when you get to a certain chapter in the backstory, it's fully inspired by My Hero Academia.
Absolutely.
Because you said it's like Horikoshi, and there's so many elements in there. Because Takamichi is like some other version of Deku, but done in a way where he stays quirkless, I guess. But
he's got a quirk time travel.
Yeah, time travel quirk. But he does it in a different way where it's not just one-to-one copy. It's like, think about Class A, where just a bunch of delinquents, like, what are 10 years of youth? Everyone think we're a class of degenerates, or a class of delinquents instead.
Yes. And another thing that reminds me of Horikoshi is how he manages to have all these different characters have totally distinct personalities, looks, You don't look at them and they're cookie cutter,
Yeah.
or you think of another character. They all have their own personalities,
True.
and that's one thing I really admire about Horikoshi's writing. He's brilliant in terms of he's got a class A and a class B, and heroes and villains, and all of them are different individuals. Every single last one, except for Tetsu. And
Kirishima on purpose.
Except for them on purpose, everyone's different.
Right.
And Wakui manages to do the same thing in here. And this is brilliant writing. The anime is supposed to get another season. We hope it's not on Hulu. We hope it goes to Crunchyroll,
Right.
like Oshi no
Because
Ko
Disney recently acquired
and Hell's
it.
Paradise. That would be wonderful if they lose the rights and it goes to Crunchyroll. Back to Crunchyroll. That's what I'm praying for. And I can't wait to see this stuff be animated. But the last volume it's a
Crazy.
ride. It is a crazy ride. And I love, and as well as Rascal, the happy ending. No one dies. He saves everyone. And you'll see how everyone is saved when you read the manga itself. But everyone is saved. And he does make friends with Kisaki. And he does find out how to help Mikey get rid of the darkness that he has.
Right.
It's just, the ending is so much joy and happiness. And I think that's why a lot of people who are into the type of writing that has pain,
Or
that has
darker
loss,
endings.
right,
Yeah.
that has loss and it stays a loss, aren't happy. But I love it because as you're reading this manga, you become used to these characters. Some of them you begin to love, some become your favorites, and you don't want them to be taken out. And I love that at the end, he showed how one person made a difference to an entire group of people.
Yes.
How one person's kindness and love and caring made a difference in people who would have been villains or considered villains later on.
Right.
I love how he shows that along the way he got help from different people, directly or indirectly. I love how when we find out how he actually got the time travel quirk, because that's what I'm calling it now that you said it, that he got it because the person saw the type of personality and person he was as a little kid and chose him like All Might.
Yes, like definitely.
And I loved it because this adult was able to see what he was going to be capable of. And I love that when we met him, his life seemed like it was a failure. And you saw the worst outcome for him. And I think a lot of us forget that in our real everyday lives, events that happen to you and things that are taking place are not you.
Right.
They don't define you and who you are.
Right.
You always have, as Stanley said, you always have the choice and you can always choose to do the right thing. You always can choose to go higher. You always can choose to make the best of your circumstances, your life. You always have a choice. You don't have to choose to let sadness and darkness take over you. And there are always people around, as this book also shows, to help you directly or indirectly, whether you ask or not. And when you do ask, there's going to be someone there to help you. All of that is just shown in this book, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And lastly, I love how the happy endings that some of them wanted, and they talked about during the course of the story, like Mikey, oh, I dreamed that Emma and Ken, because he never called him Draken, would be married. Kenny would be married, and they have a baby, and we all be at the house, and I make noise, and Emma would get furious with me and chase me around, and you could tell from that they all had dreams. One wanted to be a fashion designer, and one wanted to do this. You didn't see that or realize that when they were showing the slice of life parts of them being a member of Tokyo Manji.
Right.
But they all had dreams. And because of one person making a difference, at the end of the book, they all are able to realize their desires.
Right.
And as this is going along quickly, you're starting to see where I got online the outcomes for each person and the pictures of how they look, so you know how their fates are as we're discussing this.
Right. And I guess the last thing I would add would be that it also does a good job adding a lot of humor in there.
Yes.
Because, yeah, it can get pretty dark. It can get pretty violent, especially in the anime when they held on scenes. And we'll admit there are a couple little things it didn't like when it got further into it. But it will pass as we went forward. But I do like it always incorporates plenty of humor in there, especially if you get to the volumes that are comprised for the first season of the anime. And it's good to balance that out with all of the chaos that was happening within there. It doesn't have to escalate into something world-shattering, time-splitting, and something where it's like the end of the universe. It never goes that far. It stays what it is and stays grounded majority in reality. And with that, they balance it with the humor. And a lot of times it comes from Mikey or Draken or Takemichi crying every 5 minutes. Mikey falling asleep somewhere, just somewhere I'll just go to sleep. And I like that they still show that these people are supposed to be these powerful fighters. You don't mess with them. They're scary and all this. And then when they're away from the gangs and they're not fighting and they go to school or something, then they're just little weird kids, little weird people, especially Mikey, and you can't help but laugh because half the time he's got the funniest scenes in there. Like he don't want to eat something because they have a flag in it.
But this is a joy to read. If you haven't read it, you really should. So we're going to share with you part of the ending and let you find out the rest. And hold on, I was about to read you another part. Okay, so the best endings you could want for your characters happens. And you get to see them actually a little bit where they tell you how all their fortunes change or their fates changed. And they still came together as Tokyo Manji. And Mikey and Takemichi actually got to be brothers later.
Yes, brother!
Which I loved. And he finally marries Hina. And there's just so much that goes on. But again, you're seeing that as you're watching the stream. So I would definitely recommend, if you've never read this manga, to read it. If you haven't watched the anime, watch season 1. Season 1 is outstanding. Season 2 is a rough season. But if you like a lot of fighting and violence and the worst possible outcomes for things, you'll like season 2.
Right.
I love season 1. I've watched it, I don't even know how many times, I can't tell you. And I'm waiting for the season 3.
Right.
So,
I know what.
Season 4.
Season 4, yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for season 4. Season 3 was attached on to season 2.
Yeah, and the services keep listing it as another one, and you're like, no, it's not.
Right.
It confuses everybody.
So if you've read Tokyo Ravengers, let us know in the comments. Do you love it as much as I do? Is it okay? Were you disappointed in the ending? Did you not like some of the volumes? Have you seen the anime? Tell us what you think. And if you haven't, for the billionth time, read this manga. You will absolutely love it. You will absolutely fall in love with characters, the storytelling of Wakui, the beautiful artwork and the color pages and the covers of the mangas. You will love it. And then come back and tell us what you think.
And if you don't already subscribe for updates, we can do this by anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. We are so grateful for you. Thank you so much. You are special.
Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.